Hi, so in my continuing conversation, we'll talk about people management and growth. People management and growth. And I feel this is very important because as people, we are very intentional about our businesses growing. But problem most of the time is a lot of people are too concerned about their vision. It's a free seminar tomorrow. A lot of people are concerned about their vision. They are concerned about the dreams and all they have for their company. But what they fail to realize is your business success is not dependent on the strength of your vision. Your business success is not dependent on the conviction you have about your vision or the tenacity you use to pursue your vision, but rather the success of your business is largely dependent on the people you do life with. On the people you do life with. See, a lot of business owners have not understood this because they are super carried away by their vision and all that they forget the people they are doing life with. They forget the workers that they have because again, you see, it's the people that makes the vision work. If I take my book today and I write in this book a million and one ways to create impact, a million and one ways the Soilless Farm Lab is going to grow, a million and one things Soilless Farm Lab is going to do, at the end of the day, you are going to realize that the, the fruition of that vision will be dependent on people. Will be dependent on people. For every organization, you have, what's the word? For every organization, you have those people that you would say, oh, they are the external and the internal. Now, I am not super concerned right now about the external people that would make your vision a reality, but rather, I am more concerned about the internal people because, yes, we may have a misgiving. Sorry, you may have a misgiving about, oh, this person or that person on the external, but for the internal, you know them. So, as a company, the question then becomes, do you understand how to grow your people internally to get the external growth that you are looking for? Have you figured it out? Have you figured it out? You see, because remember, our anchor has been, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. That has been our anchor. So it means that if my business is going to thrive, if my business is going to enjoy prosperity, if my business is going to be a healthy business, there are things that you need to work on. There are things we need to work on to ensure that this happens. And you see, building a team is not just about collecting people that you like. Building a team, remember I have taught this before in the past that I said, when it comes to hiring for your team, there is hiring. When it comes to hiring for your team, there is hiring from gaps. And then, when I talked about that, I said, you hire for the person. Over time, you hire for the vision. I think I've explained that before. Meaning, when your company is just starting, you hire for who believes in you as a visioneer. But as your company begins to grow, you now realize the hires you are going to be doing are higher from a place of competence. So it means that when I am starting off my business, my first set of hire is to hire people who believes in me, who believes in my business, or rather who believes in me, not my business. My first set of hire is to hire people who believe in me. And the reason why this is fundamental, like I said before, is you see, at the beginning of your vision, you really do not have clarity. I know you have done a business plan, you are 100% certain and all of that, but the reality is, as you begin to run the business, you are going to evolve. As clarity comes in, as problems comes in, you would see yourself moving towards a different trajectory. An example would be when we started Soilless Farm Lab, for example. When the whole vision we had was simple, the whole vision I had was simple. And that vision was, hey, how can I be setting up farms for third parties? That was the idea. How can I set up farms for third parties? How can I train the farmers in this farm? And in all fairness, that vision was very clear to me. But I remember just after I started and things looked like they were picking up, COVID happened. And when COVID happened, we were all locked in. I mean, it was worldwide. We were all locked in our houses. And people who had paid for the training suddenly, I mean, I remember I had paid a hotel where people would stay. And by the time the lockdown was over, I went to visit the hotel. The hotel was still there, good news. But the hoteliers told me, hey, we do not have any money to refund. Thank you for the money you deposited for the people that paid for your training. Thanks for the money you deposited, but we have used the money to maintain half salaries for all our staff for the past few months when there was lockdown. But the only thing we can do for you is whenever you need the room, they won't give me extra, whether I think extra 20 days or I can't remember how many days, but they added more days to it so that I can just let the money be. I remember the company I paid that was going to help in cooking the food and all of that has gone under. So it means there was no going to be food, the money was not going to come back, it was gone. I remember we had printed materials because of the whole COVID and all of that. The materials printed had date. The time has passed. So even if we needed to use those materials, it's either we leave the date and just pretend like it doesn't matter, or we start looking for how to print new materials. And I remember in all of this confusion, I said, okay, how do we restart? I said, okay, the way to restart is I am going to start trading. People who I had set up farms before the whole COVID hit, I'm going to go back to them and say, can I buy your product and help you sell? Because you have been locked in for a while. And that was where I started. So we restarted after COVID as a trading company. While we were trading, I said, okay, because I was moving around from the farm, we noticed a lot of farms had closed up. And I said, okay, with farms closing up because they don't have money, if I do crowdfunding and bring cash, can you restart? Some of them were like, oh yes, this, we will do that, we will do this. And I was like, okay, what do we need money for to start most of these farms? I remember checking some people's farm, okay, do we pay this laborer, pay this, pay this, pay this? I'm like, how can I reduce my risk? I said, fine, we are going to be training people on the farm for free while they work for free. That was where the whole work and learn started. Now, where am I going with all of this? You'll notice that my original plan when the company started and where we were at that point were two different things. Because remember, after COVID, I was not thinking of whose farm to set up. Because after COVID, a lot of people were locked up about spending money anyhow. So I was not thinking of where can I put in people to manage, where can I get funding to so that they can restart their farm. I was not thinking, okay, where can I get products to sell? Basically, a whole different model. And this is why when you are a startup, you hire people that believes in you, not the vision. You see, because for the member that was with me at that point, their belief in me meant wherever direction I said we should go was where we went. Whatever direction I felt was the next place to go was where we were going. So it wasn't about, no, but you said that we were going to build greenhouses, we were going to do this. No, because the reality on ground was now different. And if that reality is different, by default, we cannot stay where we were trying to navigate to where we needed to be. And if you fast forward to today, right now, we have diversified into processing, we are making herbs and spices, white label for companies and all of that. Was that part of the vision from day one? No. But you see, remember I said, when you are a startup, you hire who believes in you as a founder. As your business begins to grow, you hire competence. Who is competent to carry out the vision, whether or not they believe in you. You see, the reason for that is, by the time the vision starts getting clearer, for example, if we need to hire an agronomist today on the farm, I am not looking for an agronomist that believes in me. No, because you see, that part now is now clearly defined. So any agronomist that we are bringing in will be hired on competence to fulfill the vision of the youth. So we must understand when to move from hiring for trust, hiring for loyalty, to hiring for competence. Because if you don't know when to make that transition, you can ruin a beautiful journey. Now, having said all of this, how then do we do proper people management? How do we build proper people management? First and foremost, we said that even as your soul prospers, you need to start by building a strong team. And in building a strong team as a startup, you will hire for character. We hire character. You can train for skill as a startup, but you hire character. And you see, why is it important you hire character? You see, as a startup, those teams that you start with, those people that you start with, unconsciously build what we call your work culture. You build what we call work culture when you are starting. So you hire for character, which means what kind of character, remember you're looking at people that are loyal to you. What kind of character do I want? Do I want people who seek knowledge? Do I want people who are antagonistic? Do I want people who are jovial? Do I want people who are free? You see, those little decisions. So you notice as a startup, we are not looking at competence because we can train the skill. We are looking at what kind of character do I want? What kind of character do I want? This is very important. Still under this, you want people who can foster trust and respect. People who can foster trust and respect. Meaning, you want people that, as I am starting, there is this trust element that they exude. There is this trust element that they exhibit. Then beyond that, they are people who provide respect. Respect for the persons, respectable people, people who can exude a reason to be respected. And you see, why is this very important? Again, remember I told you that I am speaking to you like you are a startup. And if you are a startup, it means that a lot of customers are probably coming to you for the first time. You need somebody that they see and there is this inclination to respect the person. You need somebody that they see, it is easy to respect them. It is easy to trust them. It's not like you see them and your first thought is, hope this one will not run with my money. So those salient things matters. Number three, you want to ensure that your organization at that beginning stage is a space that encourages growth. Is a space that encourages growth. Very important. Is a space that encourages growth. You want to ensure that. And I cannot overstate this enough. You see, because if your space does not encourage growth, what is going to happen is their refusal to grow will become the limitation for your business. Either that, or if you are somebody that is able to walk without bringing in emotions, you are then going to have fracas because you are going to bring in new people who are ready for the next level you want to get to, and it starts looking as though you have sidelined those that started with you. You now start hearing statements like, but we're the ones that started with Oga, but now Oga don't grow, don't forget us. That is because they did not grow. So it means at that beginning stage, you must be intentional to ask yourself, how do I nurture potential? What do I need to do to help growth? What do I need to put in place to inspire people to want to grow themselves, to want to grow their businesses, or to even want to grow their mindset, to want to change the way they think? I remember in the earlier days, one of the things I used to do almost every Friday was to sit down and do a lot of book review. We will share thoughts, we will have conversations, deep conversations around books. And what that was simply doing was, unconsciously or consciously, it was changing the way some people were thinking. It was changing the way people viewed things, how people saw issues, how people responded to issues. It was slow, but it was growth. It was not like, oh, I needed the change to happen like that overnight. No, the slow was growth. The growth was slow, but there was growth. Then, lastly, is still under this whole building a strong team, you must be able to give a fair compensation and care. A fair compensation. Now, you see, what is fairness? Fairness, most of the time, is judged from a space of transparency and honesty. Transparency and honesty. If a worker working with you can say, oh, Oga is doing his best, but the only thing Oga can give us is 5K, because they see it as fair, they do not feel used. They do not feel toppled upon. They do not feel like they are voiceless, because there is fairness and honesty. But you see, a lot of time, the reason why small companies have issues is their Oga is not able to show transparency. So even when the boss is sacrificing a lot, the staff are not able to see that fair compensation at play. They are not able to see the fairness in their compensation. They are not able to see the care. Because again, your company is small. Because your company is small, there are basic human interactions that you should notice. There are basic things that should, oh, you are not looking good, are you fine? You are not looking this, are you this? They are able to see that, okay, this person cares about us, not just our ability to pursue their vision. Not just our ability to help them achieve, meaning we are not just a tool in their hand. We are not just a tool in their arsenal. There is an actual intentionality to ensure that we are cared for. I remember those days when as we started growing gradually, we used to do free lunch. And the free lunch, I remember I started to everybody to say, oh, what we can afford right now is 200 naira per person. Was 200 naira a lot 2021? No. But they saw the fairness. Everybody saw that, oh, when my family wants to buy food, then I was it 200 or 300, because I know my own food then most of the time was just rice. I won't put meat. So that, oh, everybody can take rice and meat. But you see, what that was showing was there was a fair compensation. There was a fairness. I was being fair. I remember those early days when people invite me to come and speak and maybe I'm not able to go and I send anybody, or I'm able to go and I go with one of the younger staff, I remember whatever I get as honorarium, or if they get it as honorarium, I tell them to take it. Whatever I get as honorarium, we bring it and we share it around equally. You see, that fairness was understood, which means the person I did not pick to go with me and the person that went with me, plus me that did the speaking, we got the same amount. At times, I will not even take from it if I feel it will not be enough to go around. I let them take everything. But you see, that fairness goes a long way to build a strong team. Next, there are growth strategies you would also need to leverage as a farmer to grow your business. One, you must be able to engage your local resources. You must leverage your local resources. So I know that there is this whole thing of trying to build something that is grandeur, trying to build something that is more than ourselves. But you see, at the end of the day, there are solutions that are local. There are solutions that have worked but did not have a proper strategy written to it. Understand it. Understand it. Two, understand sustainable practice for your farming activities. Take time and study what you are doing. Is there a more sustainable way to do this? Is there a more sustainable approach? Is there a better approach? You see, because again, remember I started by saying you may have started from a space where you had an idea of what you wanted, but as you continue in the journey, you will need to keep learning. Are there better ways to do this? Are there better ways to get this done? Look around. See what you can glean from the environment. Then as you grow, diversify your income quickly as a small business. Remember what I said? My goal was train farm workers for farms as well as set up farms for third parties. That was the goal. But thanks to COVID, the goal quickly changed. The income stream quickly expanded. It now became, go and look for people who already have produce that want to sell, trade it. That became an income stream. While that one was giving me my own income stream, people who need money for their farms, I will go and raise money and give to them. Now, why was that important for an income stream? My name was the risk carrier, but I was not the risk person applying the loan directly. So, which means I was going to have farms very soon who I had locked prices with, produce another 3 to 4 months, and my supply is locked, my price is locked. While that going on, we started with work and learn. I remember I've told you this gist before. During that work and learn, when people apply, I now take time to look at the applicant and I try to put in 4-5 mix of people who can actually start their farm, not just attend. Then those who can work in such farms, so that by the time work and learn is done, I am getting 2 or 3 contracts to go set up farms for people, and I am getting employees from that cohort. And those employees and the owners of the farm already met each other in the cohort. So it is not Samson's fault if they fail, because you had a class with these people where you sort of understood and said, yes, you prefer them because you saw their work ethics. So I started diversifying income. Today, why are we doing processing of all types? Because we are still diversifying income. And as your money begins to increase, as you begin to make money, start investing in knowledge and in technology. Invest in knowledge and technology. Very important. Why are you investing in knowledge and technology? Remember, I always say this: do not expand until you have grown. Do not expand your land, do not expand your farm until there is a growth in yield. So if right now I am doing let's say 100 gram per square meter for tomatoes, and I decide to move that to 100 acres, the problem is I cannot get more than 100 gram. Most of the time I'll be forced to doing 40 gram or 50 gram, because My competence may not be that strong to do it on that large scale, right? My competence may not be that big to share it, to do it on that large scale. So, and this is where a lot of farmers make mistake. They believe that expanding their farm will make them more profitable. No, you see, the problem is, if I was making 10 naira in 100 naira before, which is 10%, if I expand my farm to 1,000 naira revenue, I will still be making 100 naira. Yes, 100 naira is more than 10 naira, true, but the reality is 100 naira and 10 naira are both 10% of what I was making or I am making. They are both 10%, which means in the actual fact, my business has not grown, I have only expanded. My business has not grown, I have only expanded. So I need to have the knowledge to start thinking, how do I really grow this business? Because think about it, if I was making 10 naira out of 100 naira as profit, imagine I am now able to make 40 naira out of 100 naira. You see, my business has not expanded, but I am now making much more. Now, if I am making 40 naira out of 100 naira revenue, that would mean I have probably figured out how to reduce my cost, or I have figured out how to increase my yield, meaning how to do more from the same resources, or how to reduce resources without affecting what I was getting as an outcome. And this is very, very important. Very, very important. Next, you must have a holistic mindset. You know, it says that I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. So you need to prioritize your health. In business, there is something we call key man risk. There is something we call key man risk. What is key man risk? As beautiful as your vision is, should anything happen to you, that vision is dead. So you need to realize you are first and foremost the key man for whatever you're doing. Number two, who are other key men? Who are the key men risk in what you do that their health needs to be top notch? You need to prioritize it. What do I need to do? Do I need to figure out how they eat? Do I need to ensure they are resting? Do I need to ensure we are taking water? What are the things I need to do? Because you are the key main risk. You are key to the success of what we are building. Very important. This is because if your key men are able to see the way you treat them well, that you are intentional about their health, you will realize that they will be willing to carry the world on their shoulders. Next is you must create a positive work culture. You must cultivate a positive work culture. Because you are a startup and you are just starting, you want to be very quick to disengage people, whether loyal or not, but they are what's the word, bringing in bad energy into your work culture. Anybody bringing in bad energy into your work culture needs to move. You need to let them go. Because you see, as a big business, the bad energy of one or two persons is just gossip and click. But as a small business, it is division. As a small business, it is division. Next, you must be able to give back to your community. What I am getting to learn is, in your business, regardless of how small, as you begin to give back to your community, there is a privilege, an auction, and an understanding you start getting. Your business no longer looks like just about you. Your business starts becoming something bigger than you. I can tell you for free that the first time you do a little good to your host community, there is a way it changes how you view things. There is a way it changes how you view things. And that change in how you view things would determine the drive on how you now run. It will change everything. I mean, when you see the whole big men having, what's it called, charity organizations, foundations, and all of that, beyond the fact that, oh, there is a way it helps in tax, whatever, in taxation, um, don't remember what they call it, where you don't get to pay, they give you some taxes, not exempt, but reduced tax and all of that. Beyond that, there is a new lease of life it gives to you to see the impact of what you're doing beyond naira and kobo or dollars and cents. Then finally, you must stay grounded in purpose, because you must stay grounded. Tax reduction, thank you. It helps in tax reduction. You must stay grounded in purpose. I cannot say that enough. You see, because you must understand that yes, we may not know the end, but we know what we want to do. So stay grounded in purpose, regardless of what happens. Now, having said that, how do I use all of these in my people management? First, you must learn how to hire and retain the right people. Hire and retain the right people. You must, number one, you must know how to select value and potential. You are a startup. I always say this, except you are a startup that is starting from a place of money, you most likely do not have enough cash to hire 100% experts. So if you are not hiring an expert, then you are hiring a potential. So you must know how to spot potentials when you see them. You must know how to say, wow, this is a potential, this is who I think I want to work with. You must be able to see value. You must be able to see value even if it is not obvious. You must train your mind to see beyond what is visible. Then you must build loyalty in your team through fairness. Nothing builds loyalty like being fair. You know, I talked about fairness earlier. When you are a fair boss, when you are fair to people, when you are fair in your judgment on how you punish sin, when you are fair in your judgment on how you punish errors, you are suddenly going to realize that you now have what we call loyalty. People are loyal to their bosses, people are loyal to their seniors because of fairness. It's not whether you are nice, it's not whether you have great intention. How fair are you with people? How fair are you to them? Are we seeing a thing of it's partiality, tribalism, nationality thingy, ethnicity, religious divide, political divide? Are we seeing that? If that is not there, once fairness rules, you would realize that there is a way people gravitate towards you and become loyal. Two, you must empower through training and development. I can't say that enough. You must be willing to train people and let them develop. So I talked about this earlier. You must create maybe an ongoing training process. Again, when I started, I didn't have money to start registering people for big schools. So my own training process was I buy books, I read, I share the books, everybody read. We come back and discuss it. That was our own process then. Before now that we can say, okay, we are sending somebody to one university, one school or the other. At that beginning time, we could not send anybody to any school. So everything that we did was something we could control. Two, under empowering through training and development, delegate authorities, delegate deliverables through trust. Delegate with trust. Delegating with trust means I have given you an assignment that you've understood. I am not coming to stay over your shoulder to follow you step by step. I am trusting you enough to, even if you make mistakes, that you will grow from it. Because at times, this is where again we make mistake. In trying to get people to develop, you need to give them opportunities. You need to give them platform. You need to give them chances. That they failed with the opportunity does not mean they are bad. I mean, it was one of two options. They were either going to do well or did not do well. You knew that from the get-go. If they were 100% competent, they would have been called expert and